Hey, what's up YouTube, it's Anchor here, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing some of my favorite suggestions that I've read for the new One Piece Roblox game, World Adventures. I'll put the link to the Discord server in the description below for this game, so check it out. The dev team is great, and I have high hopes for the game. Anyway, on with the video. Okay, so the first topic I'm going to be talking about is weapons. So weapons are really important to a One Piece game because, of course, PvP and PvE, a lot of that is centered around which weapon you use. So to start with, I think there should be weapon shops in-game, and especially at spawn. Like, you can have a few around the map, but especially at spawn there should be one. And you should also be able to buy basic weapons here, like a katana, a spear, an axe, a gun, daggers, these kind of things. And they could have like one special move off the bat with no fighting style, just one such. Like when you buy a katana, you get like, like a slash move, or the daggers have like a stab move, these kind of things. This would be good, I think, because as opposed to like, GPO where the katana is on the other side of the map, so you have to actually like fight with melee for the first bit, which is really annoying. But anyway, I think you should be able to customize your sword, like the color scheme. So on the hilt, on the handle, you should be able to, choose the colors. I think this would, like, when you buy a katana, it would give you the option to customize the colors for Peli. This would add diversity to weapons, because, like, one guy could pull up with a pink katana, another guy could have, like, a black katana with, like, red stripes, all these different things that would make it look cooler, and make your weapon more individualistic. Like, it would create more diversity. I would like to see there also be, like, a random chance of rarer weapons spawning in these shops. So, of course, you have the default ones, like, basic sword, basic this. But then on like the off chance, you could make a rare spawn, you could get like different sword grades. So if you know One Piece, you know about the sword grades. There are Supreme Grade, Great Grade, Skillful Grade, and then just Normal Grade. So this idea was partly inspired by the sword shop at Logtown, and I'll show you a picture of that on screen. This is the shop where Zoro got Sandai Katetsu, so I think it'd be cool, that kind of, I guess, part of the anime put into a game. I feel like weapons that you have equipped should have a progression line. For example, if you choose to buy a katana, there will be like an island on the map with a dojo where you can learn one sword style by doing a quest line. So it would be like, do 100 slashes, or that kind of thing. I think armor should also be added to the game. I've never seen armor in a One Piece game, but it's definitely in the anime. Like we see it with Gunfall at Skype. I'll put a picture on screen, or even Don Krieg. If you do add armor, I think that it should give a health boost or a defense boost. And it should also slow down a player's walking speed. So when you wear the armor, you're slower, you can't swim as well, but it gives you quite a big defense boost. So that will kind of, balance it out a little bit. I think that regular kind of iron armor should be the basic one you buy from the weapons store, and it should be relatively more expensive than weapons, a bit more expensive. But late game armor should be like Don Krieg's armor, or like boss drop armor. Could be really fun. The next thing I want to suggest would be adding cyborgs to the game. The best way I think I can think of adding this would be to make a progression line for humans. So for example, when you spawn in as a human, if you went to a certain island, it could be like a hidden island. There could be Vegapunk, this mad scientist guy, and he would, you could pay him to get cybernetic, get like a laser eye or some shit like that, and this would take away your ability to swim, but it would give you new powers and buffs and that kind of thing. On the subject of new content that I haven't seen in One Piece games before, I'd like to see some profession-based quest lines. So how you could implement this would be along the lines of you travel to an island and you meet a shipwright. And then if you want to get your shipwright skills, like ship customization, etc., you'd have to complete, like, let's say 5 quests that could range from like gathering a rare wood type and bringing it back to the island, or doing a shipbuilding minigame where you have to press the keys at a certain time to hammer the wood or whatever. And I'd like to see this kind of quest-based profession system implemented for a range of professions, like cook, navigator, musician. And then to top it all off, after you get the initial quest line and you've learnt the skill, you should be able to go around there should be quests for that specific profession. So for example, you should be able to, if you go to one island, there could be like, a guy whose ship is sunken, or sunk, I guess the right word would be, and then you could fix that for him for a quest, and you could get Peli in return, or there could be a lot of ways to do it. And it would make professions useful in the game, and I think it would add a lot of, MMORPG elements to the game. My next suggestion would be a little hard to implement, but an auction house on one of the main islands, so it could be like one of the biggest cities or kingdoms. There could be, an auction house, and you walk in there and you could put an item on auction and players could bid on the items using Peli. I'd also like to see a capture flag system, so you have to stand in a circle in the center of an island for a certain amount of time, and then it captures it for your crew, and then you would gain Peli and capture points.
And this would be useful because it means that it would encourage people to travel around to different islands, making sure that their crew still hasn't captured all these different things. Next up, I want to talk about safe zones. So no one likes safe zones in GPO, they're really annoying. People just hide in them. So I think there should be no safe zones. In my opinion, a better alternative to safe zones would be that in major towns or major player areas, there will be NPC guards or marines, and if you attack or hurt another player, you would get tagged as a threat, and then all the guards in the surrounding area would come towards you and try and, kill you or arrest you. This will make it so that, like, if you did want to go hunt new players and try and increase your bounty, you would risk having to fight, really, really powerful NPCs that would just, like, basically 3-shot you. Although I would like it so, like, if you had like 3 pirates, you could kind of like 1v1, 3v1 a guard or whatever. I'd also like to see NPCs that actually attack you if you get too close. So one way I see this being implemented is, for example, if you were walking on a path on an island and you get too close to a bandit hideout, they would jump out and attack you. This would make it so that exploring would be more dangerous. You could also add wild animals like tigers or lions, and if you get too close to them, they attack you. And I think that would make it would make exploration more fun and more dangerous. But I'd also like to see more ocean-based content. So this could include storms that could destroy your ship, sea monsters that could attack you. On the topic of ships, though, I want to mention that I think that if you want to sail a big ship like a galleon, which would be the fastest ship, obviously, it should take around 3 to 4 players. And this would make sailing more of a crew event. So you'll, it's like cooperation, it's like that team element. You would also have to add boats for solo players too, because they would get mad. So maybe a rowboat or Mihawk ship could be cool, I think. I'd also like to see cannons actually be useful, so make it so that they do a lot of damage to other ships and also NPCs perhaps, and also make it so that players can't spam AoE Logia moves during ship battles. So I perhaps have it so like you can't use magma abilities while you're on a ship, because otherwise what you'd get is you'd have some players on a normal ship with cannons, and they would get completely destroyed because the enemy ship has a guy with magma and he's just spamming magma rain on the ship, which is, in my opinion, ruins the experience. But a fishing system would also be nice. Perhaps you could make it so that the more you fish, the higher your fishing mastery gets, and this would raise the chance of catching rare fish, which you could sell for lots of pelly to NPCs. And like rare fish could also be common on certain islands. So it would inspire players to travel, like, oh, I'm going to go to this island so I can fish here and get the rarest fish easier, and I can sell it and, buy devil fruits, that kind of thing. From other players, of course. I'm not advocating a devil fruit sell, I don't agree with that idea. I'd like to also see cosmetics implemented early on, so there could be a clothes shop at spawn, where you can buy hats and other accessories. Make some stupid expensive thing, like a golden chain or some shit that people will have to save up for, because that would encourage people to actually spend in the game. So, yeah, the last suggestion I want to talk about is a little bit crazy and out there, so if you disagree, I completely understand. I think it would be interesting to have different spawns for races. So I know this is a crazy idea, but for example, if you were a Skypian, you would spawn at Skypia, and Minx could spawn at Zoe, Fishman at Fishman Island. This would, in my opinion, it would require you to have like low-level quests on each island, but it would create a diverse experience for new players. And it would make running into players with different, character races more interesting. So, for example, if you saw a fishman, you'd be like, well, what are you doing in, fucking Arlong Park? You should be back at the fishman place, It would be funny. It would make for interesting encounters. But that's pretty much all I have for the suggestions that I could find that I like. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I just hit 100 subs, like, yesterday, and that's pretty hype. So, keep subbing. And also, check out the game Discord in the description below, show them some support. Undead is a controversial figure, but he's honestly, in my opinion, a good guy who's trying to make a good game. And yeah, that's all I have today, so see ya.